Now, I'm not even going to sit here and lie to you guys. I've thought about quitting football a couple of times. I would say the main reason for this is belief or lack of belief. I say this because there was truly a time where I felt like I was seeing my ceiling for football. Word to as you giving yourself the harsh reality gnosis. I used to compare to myself to other talented guys that I play with, and it's like they didn't make it. So I used to think to myself, like, if they can't make it, why could I make it? I'm not as good as them. I don't have this or that like they do. So why would I make it? And that was my mindset. But trust me now, let me get this out of the way. That is the wrong mentality to have. And I also felt like I didn't have the same spark I once had for football in it. Let's say my love for it was at like 10. I felt like it was at an 8 now. Like it didn't feel the same. Again, I was comparing myself to other people and I was seeing the way other people, not necessarily grinded because I always put in my work, but the way some people were just all in on football. As much as I love football, I've never been that guy. I've always had other interests. And these thoughts really started kicking in around sometime in my second year here, isn't it? But I said to myself, you know what? I was still determined to finish college. And it's dumb that I was thinking of quitting ball, maybe not at the present moment, but maybe once I'm done with uni, I'm quitting football. Again, that's dumb because I wasn't even near there. I was only halfway through. So at least let me get to that stage before I quit or something like that. But that's where my head was at. So I just carried on putting in that work until I got to my new school, isn't it? Which is the school I'm at now. And what I can say is that I'm very happy and grateful that I did keep going and I didn't quit. And I didn't let myself fall to that temptation of stopping. It's not always about making it pro. Yes, if that's what you want to do, pursue it. And I felt like I didn't have that love or energy to pursue pro like that. Like I wasn't, to be honest, I was scared to take that risk. I didn't want to put all my eggs into that pro basket and not make it, which is where a lot of this doubt crept in. But I'm happy I've kind of kept grinding still. Now I've seen the light of it's not just about going pro, fam. If you don't go pro, there's so many other things you can still do and so many opportunities that are still to be had just from still playing football. I've already made a video about the power of football and how just playing ball and just staying committed to your sport can do so much for you. Like everything, you have ups and downs. And what playing ball has allowed me to do is just, I think at that point when I felt about quitting, I was kind of on a down. But since then, I've had so many highs in football where it's like, I've had downs again, but I've had so many highs where it's like, and when you're at that high, it's just, you just want to keep going. When you're at that high moment, it's like, nah, I can't stop now. Like, this can't be the end of it. And I think that's the reason why I'm still playing. Now, I can't go out like this, fam. That's where it is. It's like, I can't go out like this. That's literally what happens. When I'm at the top and I feel good, it's like, bro, this feeling right here is so unmatched. Like, it's just so beautiful. And when I'm at a low and I get frustrated, or if we lose a certain game, or if I don't like how I've performed, or my mentality is like, Kobe, you can't give up knowing that you lost like this. You can't give up knowing your mentality was this poor. Like, I have to keep going. And football's been such a huge part of my life. If I was to stop, what would I do? And my boy Most was the one that said this to me one time. Football's been such an influential part of my life. I can't just let it go. What's going to fill that void, fam? Like, there will be a void, and what is going to fill that void? I thought about quitting on so many different occasions. And if I kept quitting, I wouldn't be able to have certain memories that I have now. I wouldn't have met people that I've met. I wouldn't have opportunities that I've had. I just wouldn't be where I am today. Who knows where I'd be? I could be in flipping Hollywood. I could be fat and obese. That's not for me to know. That's between God and the universe and whatnot. But what is for me to know is where I am presently and the decisions I've made. And so far, I can say I'm very happy and proud at the fact that I have kept going and I have kept grinding. For me, it's not about going professional. It's just about knowing that I've done the best that I can. If at the end of uni, I stop kicking ball, I will be very happy with myself knowing that, you know what, Kobe, up until this stage in my life, I gave my all to football, and maybe now is not the time. Maybe now I have to stop. And I can live with that. And don't stop playing until you have to. I mean, if injury really keeps you out, I've seen a couple men get injured and they use that as a cop-out. To each their own. If you end up in life circumstances in which you're simply not able to play again, or playing becomes detrimental to other parts of your life, I understand that. But if you know you can still play, you can still give your effort to football, carry on playing. As funny as I find guys like Az, yeah, don't let everything be about going pro. Like, don't make that be your boom and bust. If that's your goal, good, that's your goal. But if you don't care about going pro, then carry on playing, fam. Because the doors football can open for you, the stuff football can do for you is just amazing. When life gets hard, and it gets hard for all of us, when life gets hard for me, yeah, and then I go training, and then I have a game, like the way I feel in that training, in that game, is like all my problems go away. And then that will leave me, once I'm done with the training or the game, that will leave me feeling so good. All right, I have to go back and address this problem. But sometimes playing ball just gives me an exit, allows me to be free in it. If you've got a passion, if you've got a love, if you've got an intrigue for a sport in whatever way it is, try not to let it die, fam. Don't let it die, fam. You don't want to be one of them uncles that in 20, 30 years time, yeah, when you're speaking to your kids or your grandkids or your nieces and nephews, and they're asking you about ball, and you're like, yeah, I used to be a baller, I used to be this and that, but now you're not doing ish, you're like, you've got no love for the game. You just look, when you try play and you say you're a baller, but you were washed, like, you don't want to be one of them, man. Well, at least I don't want to be one of them, man, innit? Fam, I've thought about quitting, and trust me, I understand how hard ball is, fam. And if you're in your teens watching this, trust me when I say there will be hard times in football. I promise you, there will be hard times. But whilst you can, don't stop, man. This really was one from the heart, but it's because I'm passionate about it, I'm truthful about it. If you got a spark for anything, it doesn't only have to be sport, man. If you got a spark for anything, let that spark shine, let that spark radiate, explore that spark until that spark isn't there anymore, fam. Sometimes you'll see in exploring that spark will become a little bit of a flame, which then becomes a fire in it. And I say that in a good way. So, yeah, man. Just keep grinding, man. Tough times never last. Only tough people last. Hackney on the mat. You man know the message. PVO, Bird Game Coke out.